yellow. So today I'm trying to show an example of how to make the most of the TTS-1. It's not about how to get it or how to install it. It's presuming that you have it installed already. So I'm inserting the soft synth and the Cakewalk TTS-1, and note that I have selected the MIDI source. Then I'm creating a track folder, and important point, all synth audio outputs in stereo, because the TTS-1 has 4 outputs, which you can see here from 1 to 4. And now we have one MIDI track. So going on from there, we start the thing, and by default, you see, it is every instrument is set as, or almost every is set as piano 1. But on the MIDI track number 10, there is a standard set, which means it is a drums. So let's change that, and I click on the piano 1, and let's input a bass there. And I have done this before, so okay, let's try this. And on the MIDI channel number 1. And on the MIDI channel number 2, I'm going to select the clavichord thingy. If you push the button below, you can hear the sound. Yeah, very nice. And this one. Okay, but I don't recommend to do this later in the project, because I have faced crashes whenever you click on these autoplay buttons. So let's avoid that. But for now, it's fine. And also, yeah, the drums. So now we need to do some setting here in the system, in the options. And you can see here are now appearing the 2 instruments we have set, and they are both set to output number 1, which is fine. I will add more instruments later, and I will, so it is a pairs of 2. So I have those guys are on the output number 1. The next ones are output number 2. Next ones are output number 3. And I will go to the standard set and put it on the 4. And okay, I will explain that later. So to make it easy, I would now try to input some music, but it's a little bit uneasy without any kind of click track, or so I prefer to use the drums. And I don't know if there is a default pattern set for this stuff. So what I'm doing, just, you can ignore this actually, but just to have some drums in there, I will insert another soft synth, which is the Cakewalk SI drum kit. And yeah, I leave all that as default. We can close that for now. So with the drum kit, because what is good here, we have some patterns which are playing. Let's see if there's something playing. It should, but it doesn't. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's find something maybe soul-y, funky. Yeah, okay. A, B. Okay, that sounds good. So, yeah, okay, stop it. So, what I'm going to do now is just to, for sample's sake, to drag one of these patterns here. Okay, so that sounds good. Let me do some quick adjustment here. Yes. So this sounds good. Then let's do this and copy and paste this. Oh, activate that one, copy it again, and maybe copy it again, and then I do a little special thingy here. What was it different? Ah, okay. So this is not what I want. Let's take this a little bit later. Let's do this one instead, yes. Yeah. Come here. And copy this one. It's just, as I said, just an example, and we won't create a super hit here. It is just to show the process of how to fix some stuff quickly. So now, as you notice, this stuff is let's check it out. If we double click any tone here, we can see it is on channel MIDI channel number 10, and which is fine, and it's sending to the SI drums. But that's not what I want. I want to send this to the TTS-1. And what happens then is, it sounds quite different. I don't know if it is better or not, but now we have some kind of click track here. Actually, let's just move this thingy up there, and I will delete this one because we don't need it anymore. It was just to show synth rock. Okay, so we delete that. Yes. Okay. So now we have, this is of course wrong. It is TTS drums. Yeah. So now we can go on and begin to input some other sound. So since we have the drums, I like to start with the bass. So I double click that and I hit Shift and D, and yeah, but it sounds different. So of course we need to select the channel number 1. Now we have the bass. Okay. So we can just randomly input some notes here. Okay, so this is very basic stuff. Anyways, let's copy and paste that. Maybe why there's a strange tone in there. don't know why that's happening. Let's check this out. I think there's something in there. And let's see the piano roll. What's this? I don't know why this is there, but let's delete that. And also this guy. Okay, that looks good. Let's check here in the bass line. I don't know, there's a strange tone in there. I don't know where it's coming from. It is coming from here. I don't see it. This one. So this one slipped through for some reason. Okay, fixed. Haha. Tricky stuff. Okay. So now we should have the okay. That's it for now. Let's just, for fun, bounce this stuff so that there's nothing in the way. So now we have this, we have a synth bass track, well, a sample track added, and now we want to add the clavichord or clavinora, or I don't know how they are called. So this is on channel 2, right? And what we can do now is very simple. The track we already have, I like to copy it, duplicate, but without any events. And what's happening then is that we have it routed the same way as we had before. Let's quickly rename that. So we have the bass here, and so this one will be the clef thingy, and so we basically go in there, and again we need to change this channel to number 2. Again, we are not going to make a super song here. It is just to show the process of doing something, and you can adjust that to your needs later. Let's have this jump in a little bit smaller steps. it was too fast. Okay, that sounds doable. So we copy and paste that. Of course, we can do the same again. Well, maybe I will forward this, speed up a little bit later, but I will do it anyways now. Whoops. Okay. Of course, I must say this is not very beautiful now because all these things are the same velocity. So what I would usually do is, and even before copy pasting, like adding variations. Also, actually, I would usually change the timings a little bit, like to make it sound more like somebody really hit this thing. For example, take the snap off and... But in this case, it is very percussive. So let's zoom in a little bit. Maybe that was too far. Yeah. So that's much better. And of course you would need to go on with the editing of these guys and to make it sound a little bit more human. Anyways, that's not in the scope of this example. It is just, well, so you get the idea. And now, actually, there comes one point why I'm saying to making the most of this stuff. As I had mentioned, the TTS-1 has 4 outputs, but we can double that easily. And how do we do that? Is by... Now, you know, we have 2 instruments. Well, with the drums it's 3, but let's say we have 2 instruments in there, and the one is the bass and the one is the clav thingy. So they are seen here. What we can do now, first of all, I forgot to mention that I will switch off everything like the reverb and chorus. I just want the dry sounds. And what we then do is the bass. Let's hear the bass. And you see we have the pan knob here. So what we can do is we pan the bass totally to the left. And we pan the clav thingy totally to the right. So what we can do with that is when we export this audio track later, we can split it, we can export it as separated left and right. So meaning is exactly what it is supposed to do. That is why we have set it up like this way. So we have one instrument on output number 1, the second instrument output number 1, sorry. But then later we will split these. So we make from one output we get 2 outputs, basically 2 monaural tracks. So if you continue that with other instruments and do it exactly the same way, instead of 4 only outputs, now we have 8 outputs of monaural instruments. Of course, that doesn't sound very appealing, but I will show that a little bit later. If you later just put a bass and put some reverb on there, and then like individual effects for example, the A piano, like some phaser or flanging thingy, and that will turn out very nice. And not only that, additionally, you know, you can actually even tweak these things in much detail, you know, like the bass, for example. See, you can do very interesting stuff in there actually. But then if you change that, you need to remember to write to the program, which I won't do now. But anyways, there are pretty much the basic parameters for synthesizers editable, and which can result in interesting sounds. And it doesn't necessarily need to sound like, so I reset that, okay. So I will skip forward. I will add the other stuff a little bit, and then we will see what we are getting from there. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so I did set up some of the other stuff. So let's check it out and recap. First, the 2 instruments, the synth bass and the clav, set to hard left and hard right. So let's actually, we have 4 audio tracks, right? Because we have the TTS-1 has 4 outputs, and I've used each of these 4 outputs in stereo in order to split them after exporting, split them into left and right, and then can individually import these tracks to a new project, for example, and then pan them to wherever I want. So in order to keep this a little bit sorted, let's rename the audio stuff, because when we export stems, it is naming them by tags, and we can give them the tag of the track name. So it would be helpful if we just like put bass and clav in here, because these are the 2 instruments which are contained after exporting. And so this is the stuff, right? So then we go to the next. Let's see what we have there. It is the second set. It is the A piano and the marimba, right? So I will rename that as well. A piano, marimba. Then we go to the next one, and we have the strange muted guitar and some fluty sound. So I hit F2 for rename, and mute, and what is it? Mute and flute. That even rhymes. Okay, that's nice. Okay, and then the final one, Oh, it is the drums. And actually, so far we have 6 instruments, because we used 3 of the outputs, and the last one in this case is reserved for, I wanted to reserve for the drums. So what can we do with the drums? Actually, it is a stereo track, right? So we have left and right. But more than not, you might want to isolate the kick and the snare for different effects or something like that. So we can just do that. In this case, let's see. This is our drum track, right? Let's go to the piano roll. Let's shrink that a little bit with my, not mouse wheel, but my track ball ring. So the idea is these guys. So the kicks and the snares we would like to separate from the whole bunch. And in order to do that, let's again, this is the MIDI track, right? So let's duplicate the MIDI track, but without events. It is just so that it has the same settings in terms of routing. And so I will hit F2 again and give it a very interesting name. So what we want to do now is, again, this is not necessary, but I found this might be an interesting idea. So we go in here, we get the kick, I click here and I select all the clicks, right? And then I hit Control and X, so they get lost. And then we go to the other track we just made and input that. And you see it is still there. So now we do the same with the snare. Let's see. Snares are here. Control. Let's make sure that we are with the cursor at the exact location. Snares. Control X. Now they are gone, right? But we go to the track number 2 and paste this stuff. I think this is strange because maybe it's not right. I think. No, it's not right. Let's reverse that. Ah, it starts from here. Yeah, that's it. So now what's the interesting part is, let's unsolo that. Now we have only the kick and the snare, right? Ah, I didn't even... Oh, wait. This is now still on channel number 10. But we want to edit the standard set. You know? We want to edit it in order to pan the snare and the kick to the left and the right, so that we can later export them and into their own tracks. So what we do now is we have, this is the kick snare track. So if we can see it here, this is channel number 10, or what I'm using always is a double click and I see it at 10. But now we have the same kit on the channel number 9, right? But let's see if that works. Yeah, it works. So what we can now do is hit Control A for all and process this stuff and find and change. And we want to change the MIDI channel. We can ignore this because it is meaning all MIDI channel. And now we just say we want to have this stuff on MIDI channel number 9. So, oh, and see, it is already sounding different. Why is that? Because it is now not on the drum channel number 10, is on the channel number 9. So if we edit the number 9 and if we check the snare, see, there it is. It is already panned. Maybe I did that before, I forgot, to the right. But we need the kick. There it is. Now we have the kick totally on the left and the snare totally on the right. So if we now unsolo that, it sounds a little bit strange, but we can, for example, add a little bit of reverb and I'm wondering, why is this guy not moving? This is a different problem, because that has changed also to channel number 9, which I didn't want. Let's see if I can change that back. Okay, I don't know why that is happening, so let's change it to 10. 10. Yes. Okay, there it is back. And let's see if... Yeah, okay, now we have it complete. So maybe I made a mistake. So the purpose is simply, now we have the kick and snare after export, so that we have them separated, right? But still the normal drums have their their overhead sounds and maybe toms, which are, let's check that out actually. The toms, which might be, oh, okay, they are a little bit, yeah, they are panned differently. So we want to preserve that for now. It's, of course, it was a very easy setup, but that's the whole idea. What we have done now is created, or rather just copy pasted. It was very simple. Like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 instruments. If we would not consider the drums, we can simply make 8 instruments instead of the piano. We can do some other 2 instruments there. So basically, with the 4 outputs of the TTS-1, you can create 8. But what we have done here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, only 6, of course, and 7, 8 is drums. But we have now 6 MIDI controls. And by the way, I forgot to mention it, and because I don't fiddle around with that, in the inspector, there was recently a topic about how to change how to do the program change and stuff with the inspector. And wait, let me save that first. And it's a little bit scary for me, because it works, but I'm not sure how. And also there is stuff like which has the priority. As you remember, we have manually edited the MIDI events in each MIDI track to change the MIDI channel. But there's also this this MIDI channel selector here, and I don't know which has the override, which has the more power. So I don't want to destroy that now. But it is possible. I have shown that in another very short clip somewhere, that you can simply use the patch browser and change the instruments on the fly from here, which would mean if you utilize this technique, and you can you have 8 monaural tracks where first of all of instruments, but you can still in between the song you can still change those sounds, so you will end up with much more instrumental sounds, which might be interesting. Okay, what I'm doing now, I think this should be all for this part. Let's just first check again. Okay, we have separated that. 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the drums. That is basically how to do that, or it is one way how to do it. Yeah, there may be other ways, like always, many ways do lead to Rome, as we know. Yeah, and I don't know if I'm fancy. I will try to export all this stuff and see what happens then when we use the sounds that we have now. Oh, also, I must mention, this is of course not gain staged at all. They are all the faders. They are set from the instruments themselves. So of course you need to fine tune that later. But I will see what comes of it. Let me see again. Oh, why is this not showing? I will remove. Yeah, and I will export all the dry tracks and see what happens if we put them into a new project and with individual treatment for effects and panning and everything. So that's it for now. See you later. Alright, I remembered it is not about the exporting for now, it is about the freezing. We want to freeze the audio at first, and I'm usually, because my computer is not the fastest one, what I'm usually doing is, and especially if there are many effects involved, which is not the case yet, but just to share this info as well, I am always rendering in real time, and as well I'm always also exporting in in rendering in real time mode, because if I don't do that I get glitches or some synthesizer sounds which are not loading. Anyways, this is a very short example only, so we are bouncing this or freezing this now and see what happens. Okay, it is, yeah, because it is real time, it is now processing each audio track on its own. So that means if this song is 1 minute long, it will take maybe around 4 minutes until the whole thing is done, obviously. But let's ignore that. Actually, my target and one of the main messages which I wanted to convey is that part about how to split this stuff later. Okay, now we've got this stuff frozen, and as you can see, they are beautifully separated left and right. So what we can do now, and which was the purpose of the duplication from 4 outputs to 8 outputs, that we bounce this stuff, but not like a normal, not like you bounce from here. That will not work. You need to do this. Well, let me select these again. From the trucks menu, bounce to trucks. This is where the magic happens. And we change the format from stereo to split mono. And for all the trucks. And let's just... well, let's skip the real time, because it is now already in audio. It will not take any hit from affecting and stuff. So let's do this and see what happens. So it says destination is 13. Let's check again. Now we have 12 tracks, well, audio and MIDI all together. So it will mean that the output of this action will start from the number 13, which is what we want. Okay, so let's do this again. Bounce to tracks. Destination 13. Split mono and all 4 tracks through the entire mix. Let's do that. Oh, beautifully. It's very quick. Well, it's a short piece, of course. And what we've got now is the bass only, the clav only. Now we can, of course, this is where the fun begins. We could change this stuff, and we could give it a real, where the bass should probably be in the middle. Now we can, of course, also add some effects, like, let's go simple here, just like on the A piano, maybe some phaser or something would be nice. Yeah, well, maybe not that, but there are no presets. I think I want to work that out as well, because I never checked that. There should be presets in there, and I will check that later. Let me delete that. Let's see if we have something else, like just a simple phaser. No, not phaser. What I want is tempo delay. No. Gate modulator, maybe. What's that? Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad. Let's give it some room. And of course you can do you get some room too. About that. You get some room as well. I usually do use at least 2 rooms. One is only the short, on the early reflections for putting them in their place without a long tail. And then I have another reverb, usually with a long tail. and yeah, sounds good. What we have. Okay, let's go crazy with this one maybe. Not that crazy, but for example, if we put some delay on there. Not even. How that sounds together. See, we are clipping actually, so that would be actually the first step to input the free G thingy, for example, and have all these things gain stage properly, which will make stuff easier later. Oh, this guy can get much loud. It is much too loud, of course. Oh, right, we wanted to check. I don't know why, but there's the hi-hat in there still. So we would probably want a good bunch of reverb on that. Ah, I think in the original setup, maybe the hi-hats were also like panned very lefty and righty, so they are in here as well. But that's not a big deal. It will actually maybe sound fuller later when it is all together. Okay, that's it so far. I will see if I can maybe find some more of the built-in effects, or maybe some paid stuff, and to make this sound really gorgeous. Which should be totally possible. So really, it is a very simple tool, and if it works, if it is not crushing your system, it is unbelievably powerful if you consider the small size compared to nowadays, like gigabyte plugins, you know, with waveforms and all this stuff. And at least for sketching, you could use it like in a very, very simple way. And I think that's it for now. I will see if I drop this video in a few minutes. Well, see ya.